Okay, well, thank you very much. Mga kaibigan ko, mga countrymen ko, fellow kababayan ko dito po sa Malaysia, particularly here in Sabah, and very specific dito po sa Kota Kinabalu City. Ito po si Nico Fabian. This is Nico Fabian in my program NikTok, the Real Talk with Nico. Wishing all of you all the best of July. July. Today is July 1st, and I hope this month will be a very fruitful, memorable, and problem-free month for all of us. To all my friends, Malaysians, thank you very much, and welcome to my program NikTok, the Real Talk with Nico. And of course, all my countrymen, not only in Malaysia or here in Sabah in particular, but also those who are overseas Filipino workers in other parts of the world, no? And of course, fellow Filipinos in the Philippines, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to all of you. Salamat pagi, salamat patang, and salamat malam. Welcome to my program. Okay, today we are going to be discussing some issues regarding the former president of the Philippines, and that is no less than our former president, Rodrigo Roa Duterte, or fondly called by many Filipinos, especially his supporters, PRRD or Tatay Digong. What is the latest updates regarding this Tatay Digong? Ano kaya po ang mga latest mga balita kay Tatay Digong? Today, I'm going to share with you a footage wherein there was an interview yesterday with Tatay Digong dyan po sa Netherlands or in Netherlands. Very specific at The Hague, dyan po sa detention center. I will be sharing with you this footage wherein we have no other than the lead counsel of Tatay Digong, si Attorney Nicholas Kaufman, who briefed us or made a briefing on the latest updates of Tatay Digong regarding how is his condition. At the same time, what's the updates when it comes to the complaint against him po, no? Crime against humanity, the latest updates, and a lot of Filipinos would like to know what is the latest. And at the same time, during this program, NikTok, the Real Talk with Nico, I will also be sharing with you some footages, especially an interview with no less than Congressman-elect, re-electionist, the son of Tatay Digong, and I'm referring to Congressman or Representative Paulo Duterte. And not only that, I'll also be sharing with you some updates or news about what's the latest regarding the, sabihin natin, ang posisyon ni Tatay Digong or the mayoral position of Tatay Digong in Davao City, wherein he was unanimously, overwhelmingly elected as the next mayor of Zamboanga City. But unfortunately, he is now detained at the detention center of the International Criminal Court, and whether he can perform his duty as a mayor or not, you will know later on in my report. So stick with me. Stick with me, and you will be able, or I'm going to give you the latest updates regarding these issues. And of course, I'll be touching towards the end of my program. I will also be touching on who's likely to be the next Senate President, next Senate President of the Philippines. Apparently, we have two candidates. One is the incumbent, is no other than Representative or Senate President Chis Escudero, and of course, behind him, also trying to grab or return back as Senate President of the Senate, no other than a very, very veteran senator, politician in the Philippines, and I am referring to Senator Tito Soto. So, ano kaya ang mga latest developments dyan po? Sino? Is it Escudero or Soto? The next Senate President. The next Senate President. And at the same time, I would like to congratulate and hope that all our local officials elected during the midterm election held last May 12th. Yesterday, they officially started the duties, be it congressman, mayor, governor, vice governor, vice mayor, councilors, and so forth and so on. The official start of the duties was yesterday at 12 noon, yesterday, June 30. So now, they are now starting their job, and hope that they will do the level best as what they said or mentioned or promised or pledged during the campaign period, that they will protect the interest and welfare of the Filipinos of their respective communities. And they will try to do their level best to bring developments, improve the living standard of their constituents. And let's hope that these are not only broken promises. I hope and pray that they will make sure that their promises will be realized. For 3 years ito po, ang term nila is 3 years, no? After 3 years, then there will be another election for these local positions po. And that will be on 2028. During the 2028 general election, it means, since it is a general election, it means the Filipinos will also vote, choose their next president and the vice president. At the moment, our president in the Philippines is no other than President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr., and the vice president is no less than or no other than Inday Sara Duterte. Unfortunately, during the campaign period of 2022, now they formed a unity team, but it did not last long. It did not last long, and now you can see that we are having some problems, political problems po, because of the conflict between the Marcoses and the Dutertes. So let's hope all these things will be a thing of the past. Solutions will be found and properly addressed, immediately addressed, so that the Philippines will continue to progress po. We have a lot of problems in the Philippines, be it in terms of our food or prices, in terms of transportation facilities, infrastructures, in terms of wages, in terms of malpractices carried out by elected and government officials. In other words, corruption po. Corruption. And of course, we have some problems, not only domestic, but also we have problems, international relations with other countries outside the country, outside the Philippines. So sana lang po, I hope that all these problems will be solved as soon as possible po. So at least we will be able to breathe po. Kawawa mga overseas Filipino workers who are doing their level best, suffering maybe, or swallowing the difficulties, working abroad, leaving behind temporarily their loved ones in the Philippines po. All for the sake of love for the loved ones, and all for the sake, for the love of their country, their motherland, which we call the Philippines. Okay, umpisa na tayo po. Let's start with our purpose in this NikTok, the Real Talk with Nico. To start with, I'm going to share with you an interview of the lead counsel of Tatay Digong, and I'm referring to attorney or the lawyer, Nicholas Kaufman. Now, he was interviewed in The Hague about what's the latest updates regarding the case of Tatay Digong, and at the same time, how is the condition of Tatay Digong. So let's listen to this footage which I prepared for all of you. Nandito na po. Let's listen to this.
Attorney Kaufman, good morning. How are you today?
I'm well. Had a bit of a break, 2 weeks away, but I'm fine.
How is our beloved former president, Rodrigo Duterte, sir?
Well, I just come out from seeing him. He's in good spirits as usual.
Sir, I have a series of questions. My first one is that the ICC plenary unanimously rejected former President Duterte's request to disqualify 2 judges. What is your reaction to this decision, sir?
I trust the judges, and I trust the judges took the decision that they took for the right reasons. I have no reason to doubt them. Furthermore, new information has come to light, which I'm not at liberty to disclose, but it would have made a difference had I known about it before I made the request to disqualify the judges.
Okay. Sir, what does this outcome suggest about the ICC's impartiality and the integrity of its judicial process, especially in politically sensitive cases like this?
I'm not going to impugn the impartiality or the partiality of the International Criminal Court. As far as I'm concerned, the judges are doing their job as they're expected to do, given their mandate under the Rome Statute. I have no reason whatsoever to doubt their integrity.
Sir, if the investigation proceeds and leads to prosecution, what legal consequences could President Duterte realistically face under international law?
Well, I'm hoping that this case won't proceed to prosecution because we have a confirmation hearing, first of all. As I said, we've currently in the process of making our request for leave to reply. We hope to be able to reply to the prosecution's response to our request for interim release. And then the judges will rule. Under the Rome Statute, the judges are meant to rule on a request for interim release as speedily as possible.
Sir, in relation to that, many people in the Philippines were a bit confused when you previously stated that the prosecution did not oppose your request for interim release, and then apparently the prosecution's response or written observation with respect to the interim release request is that they strongly oppose that. Can you clarify that, Attorney?
Once again, I stand by what I said. There was originally a non-opposition to interim release, but I'm not going to litigate the case now in the media. The case is a live issue, the matter is a live issue, before the court, and I'm not allowed to litigate it by way of social media.
Thank you, sir. There are reports claiming that Belgium and Australia declined to host former President Duterte during his interim release. What is the truth behind this?
Well, I don't know where Cristina Conti, because I guess that's who you're referring to, got that from. I'm not going to comment on any country. I'm not allowed to. These matters are confidential. But I assume that Cristina Conti, knowing the way that she thinks, has looked at the interim release agreements at the court, has decided that Belgium, because Belgium has signed an interim release treaty, is the destination or the proposed destination for President Duterte. I'm not going to comment on that. The same goes, by the way, for the Honourable Justice Minister or the Secretary for Justice in the Philippines, Mr. Remula, who's decided that there's a Latin American country that's prepared to receive President Duterte. Once again, I assume that he thinks we're talking about Argentina because, once again, Argentina has signed an interim release agreement with the International Criminal Court. I'm not going to comment on that.
The Department of Justice in the Philippines reportedly sponsoring witnesses in the ICC case against the President Duterte because, as you mentioned, sir, all evidence related to the former chief executive's war on crime has already been destroyed. He mentioned that. What's your comment on that?
Sponsoring witnesses to cooperate or encouraging witnesses to cooperate? I don't know. We'll investigate that matter, and if it's true, then they will be cross-examined, those witnesses in court, and these allegations will be put to them.
Sir, pertaining to the interim release, the annex terms and conditions, specifically paragraph 32, mentions that President Duterte will refrain from public engagement, holding office, and communicating with individuals outside his family. How does this affect the mandate given to him by the people of Davao as their newly elected mayor?
I look at the events in Davao and the elections as something else entirely. I view it as a vote of support for President Duterte, the former president. I view it as a rejection of what was done to him by the current incumbent government. I don't view that as a mandate to rule Davao. Yes, of course, If he was released, then he would rule Landau. But he's not. He's sitting here in a prison. Physically, he's not able to govern at the present moment in time. It would be irresponsible for him, and he has told me that.
Are there already arrangements for his own taking?
I'm not going to comment on that matter. Okay.
Who is exactly considered outside his family in the context of the interim release, sir?
Well, interim release, once again, is a matter which has to be decided. And also the scope of people who are in his family will also be decided.
Sir, could appeals or objections from civil society groups or international organization influence the court's decision on the urgent interim release motion?
The victims have a right to make their voice heard, and they can comment on the application for interim release. And the court has already ordered the victims to make their observations known. They do that through a dedicated office in the court, which is called the OPCV, and the OPCV has responded.
Sir, in this particular question, should the Philippines is already a non-member state of the ICC, to the Rome Statute, is it legally possible for it to voluntarily offer to host President Duterte during his interim release?
Even non-state parties can host persons who are on interim release from the International Criminal Court, should the court approve it. Obviously, we would want President Duterte to go back to the Philippines. But if I'm not mistaken, the government has already stated, point blank, that it's not prepared to receive him.
Will the public eventually be informed, sir, about which government or governments, if any, has expressed willingness to receive President Duterte should interim release be granted?
I anticipate that could be the case in due course. Indeed.
Sir, this question is highly political. Has your meeting with Senator Amy Marcos had any direct or indirect bearing on President Duterte's case before the ICC? Or if you're able to share what was the nature of or the purpose of your meeting?
I'm able to share that. It was me who asked to see Senator Amy Marcos. I wanted to see her because I saw her in action in the committee hearings. I was impressed by what she had to say. I was impressed by the way she handled those hearings. And I was impressed also by the conclusions and the report that she produced. So I asked to meet her in order to receive that report. And I did.
Thank you, sir. Sir,
And by the way,
let's go ahead.
that report hasn't been published on the Senate website. I wonder why.
Thank you, sir. Is it legally realistic for former President Duterte to seek any form of remedy or protection under Dutch domestic law while under the jurisdiction of ICC?
Well, I think I know where that comes from. There's some Filipino lawyer who suggested that he might be able to seek remedies under Dutch law. That's not the case.
Sir, the last question. Is it common for the Office of the Prosecutor to express no opposition to a motion such as the interim release? Or is this unusual and specific only to the President Duterte's case?
As I said, in the past, it's possible in offences against justice cases. However, would be the first time if the prosecution do follow through on their original non-opposition, which was stated to me to one particular decree. If they follow through on that, that would be the first time in an Article 5 case involving atrocity crimes or alleged atrocity crimes that the prosecution may express non-opposition to interim release, yes.
Attorney Kaufman, do you have any message to the Filipino people who is closely following the development of the case of President Duterte?
Yes, I do. As I say, respect the judicial process. A lot of gossip, a lot of allegations have been made, especially by people like Attorney Christina Conti, that the supporters of former President Duterte are threatening witnesses or trolling judges. That is simply not true. Just respect the judicial process.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it. You heard direct from the lead counsel of Tatay Digong in The Hague or John Po's detention center of the International Criminal Court. So he mentioned a lot of things. First thing first, he mentioned that Tatay Digong or former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte remains still in high spirit. Po. He also mentioned that not necessarily non-member state of ICC, of the Rome Statute po, they can host itong temporary release of Tatay Digong. In fact, even Philippines can host si Tatay Digong po, provided the ICC authorities will approve the interim release of bid of Tatay Digong. At the same time, he also mentioned, si Attorney Nicholas Kaufman also mentioned most likely around 1 month. It will take 1 month for them to know the decision of the ICC when it comes to the bid of temporary release of Tatay Digong. So all we have to do is wait for the decision of the ICC when it comes to the temporary release of Tatay Digong. And let's hope that it will be granted. At the same time, he also advised the supporters, the Filipino communities, who is monitoring closely about the updates, the situation of Tatay Digong at The Hague or dyan po sa ICC. And he's calling for everybody to respect the judicial process of this investigation po. Yeah, correct din yun po, no? All we have to do is wait. We have to wait whatever the outcome po. And of course, the temporary release of Tatay Digong. He also mentioned about the Senator Amy Marcos committee hearing. Medyo saludo siya po kay Senator Amy Marcos po when she conducted this committee hearing po. But still ongoing, no? Ongoing itong investigation or probe. So let's see, wait and see lang po, no? Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see and hope for the best and prepared for the worst. Ganun ba yan? And prepared for the worst. Okay, so next footage that I'm going to share with you is about no other than the son of Tatay Digong. Nandyan po, he's in The Hague visiting his father, and I'm referring to no other than the re-electionist congressman, si Polong Duterte. Si Polong Duterte. Nandito po, the interview of Congressman Polong Duterte. Unfortunately po, I cannot translate to you po what he's saying because he speak in Visaya. He speak in Visaya. But anyway, I will share with you this footage. You hold on. Let's listen to this. All right, 333. Okay, let's listen to Congressman Polong Duterte.
Ang iyang kwan. Sige pakatawa, sige joke sa mga apo, okay man siya.
Sir, kanusta siya, sir, na 1 week siya wala visit, yun siya na-fail daw niya, sir?
May ganang kaon. Maugiya po, masay ganang kaon. Pareha karon akong ginamasahe. Sige kurog ang tiyan. Istorya po na akong mga security, usay, di mo bangon, kapoy. Matod pa niya, mo doon ay, kwan. Naanad na daw siya sa iyahang kaimta nga ublo. Nasa loob.
Ublo.
Muna isulti ublo.
Sir, tapos siya yung mga gusto ipahiwatig sa itong mga kababayan, sir, all over the world?
Kuhan lang, pasalamat gyapon siya sa suporta. Sige mo ko pangutan na, og na si message, kay tungod lagi ipod ninyo. Salamat sa suporta. Unya, ayaw na lang daw kay sa problemahan na lang daw yung mga kaugalingon, kay kung maugi daw niyang destiny, maugi na yung destiny.
Pwede ba na ako i-question to sa balay? Yes, of course. Naabot na ba sa iya, sir?
Ako siyang ipangutan na po. Una, ako lang siyang likay-likay kay kabalungon ka sa nasulod, di ba? Medyo depressed. So ako siyang ipangutan na nga ibaligya pa tong balay sa among lula, sa dili daw ito ibaligya, di sa musugot. Yan ako nang gidiretso, nga imong balay diya sa Doña Luisa ibaligya ba? Nitubag naman siya ganun nga baligya ba daw nga mo doon ay pinakaunan niyang balay, si Hanilet na mo doon kaugaling mong balay, dako daw. So mo to yung tubag. So di daw niya ipabaligya. Pero nabaligya na ni Hanilet, ako kung ipangutan na nga kung antitulo ka kinsa, murag nisulti man ko siya, kahanilet daw, murag ana. Wako ko, way klaro po yan to pag nabaligya na, may mabuhat. Kaya sa pagkakaroon, ang among inahan, si mama namo, ni sulti gyud nga pohon, o kaluyan sa Ginoo makagawa siya, dito na siya papuyon sa balay namo. Daghanan naman may kung ganyan balay, may balay mo kamakan, dito pwede nang puyo sa mong balay.
Sir, kay worried mo good ang buong Pilipinas o mostly supporting ni Tatay Digong na ang balay daw pero holds history na daw.
Di ang kuan gid namo na nastoryahan namo ni Bibi Inday o ni Mayor Paste na kanang balaya dili na siya actually na masulting kang sa among amahan. Ang tagiya na ang tiga Davao na kinahimo na nilang atuhanan ng lugar.
Sir, naisigutan ba ninyo, sir, ni
Kamaya?
PRRD?
Oo. Ana siyang kuan daw. Sa iya daw mga common law wife man yung isulti. Katong kang Ma'am Jazz, ana siya nga wala man daw sila relasyon ni Ma'am Jazz kay di man daw sila igagaw. Di man sila igsuon, so wala daw sila relasyon. So sa tanang uyab po daw niya, katong sa nailhan ako nga 13 ka buok des Davao, pangita na lang daw mo glain, kanang daghan daw credit card. So, mo na yung sulti. So, doon sa par, bahin sa uyab, sa common law wife, kung sa man.
Sir, kanang mutanan din ko naisigutan ba ninyo ang kanang development sa case ni Bibi Inday?
Impeachment. Nagsigila sa pangutana kung si Inday nga gato ba daw Davao, ginasikaso ba daw po ni Inday ang Davao. Ako na kung ito pa nga, nga si Inday kaulig Davao. Gatupang sa mga imbitasyon yung ginatupang mga tao. Mura to yung pangutanuan sa nangutana sa kaso ni Inday.
Kung sa daw ay
Okay po. Yan si Congressman Apolong Duterte just giving us a briefing on kumusta ang sitwasyon ng tatay niya po, si Tatay Digong. One thing touching on what Tatay Digong mentioned is that saludo ko ay salute Tatay Digong wherein he told his son, si Congressman Apolong Duterte, na tell the Filipinos, the supporters, his supporters, or supporters of the Dutertes, no? Not to worry about him, not to worry about his condition, his situation, dyan po sa ICC Detention Center. What is most important is worry about tayo, worry about ourselves, no? Worry about himself. He said if it is his destiny to face this thing, then let it be his destiny. Just imagine po, no? What is suffering or what is happening to him now, yet he still have that love for the country, love for the Filipinos, and the courage to say, don't worry about me, worry about yourself, you Filipinos. If it is my destiny to be like this, then it is my destiny. See? Grabe ang how he loves the Philippines, how he loved fellow countrymen ni Tatay Digong. Okay, Congressman Pulong also touched on remember, during my previous blog, I was mentioning the house, the greenhouse that is located at where's that, Doña Lucia in Davao City po, no? That they are selling it according to the common law wife of Tatay Digong, si Madam Hanilet, that she is selling the house because she don't stay there, and every time she goes inside the house, she can feel the sorrows, memories is there, no? So Tatay Digong told to his son, Congressman Apolong, that he doesn't agree selling the house. He said, I don't know if it is jokingly or coming from his heart. He said, Hanilet, Madam Hanilet has a big house in Davao also po. No? So first day, that was on Saturday, there was a signboard there for sale, the greenhouse of Tatay Digong. And the following day, Sunday, they already removed. We don't know whether it was already sold or not. And reaction of many supporters of Tatay Digong, they said they are willing to help in the event. Tatay Digong is facing some financial problems. They are willing to extend the financial help to Tatay Digong in terms of maybe contributing po, no? Contributing. Many Filipinos from other countries, no? Already expressed that helping hands, to help Tatay Digong in the event that Tatay Digong is facing some financial problems in facing his case at the ICC. Now, Congressman Apolong also mentioned that in the event that this Tatay Digong will be returning back to the Philippines, Tatay Digong will be staying in their house together with Congressman Polong's mother, si Madam Elizabeth. Si Madam Elizabeth. Yun daw po, nag-discuss sila between the siblings, si Inday Sara Duterte, si Polong, si Baste. I don't know if Veronica is also included in the decision making. So, yun po, that's the latest updates that we have regarding si Tatay Digong. And despite of all this, what he's facing now, he still managed to, for me, I look at it as a joke. No? He was saying that all his girlfriends, the 13 girlfriends in Davao, he is advising advising his 13 girlfriends to look for another man with a lot of credit cards. But anyway, that's how Tatay Digong talk. No, he mixed with jokes. That's why when you listen to him when he talk, very interesting po and very entertaining. Okay. Mayroon pa ko dito po another footage of Polong wherein he passed his message to all the Filipinos po. This message coming from no other than the re-electionist congressman, Representative Paulo Duterte. Nandito po. Let's listen to this. Okay, let's listen to this. Very brief.
Mga Pilipino, salamat sa inyong suporta sa akong amahan o sa akong igsuon nga si Bibi Inday o sa among pamilya. Salamat kaayo. Matuto pa ni Papa nga iyang message. Kalimti na lang daw siya, siguraduhan na lang daw inyong mga kaugalingon. Salamat.
Okay, that's it. Congressman Apolong thanking all the supporters of the Dutertes, supporters of Tatay Digong, supporters of Inday Sara Duterte, and everybody. Thank you very much for the support. Continuing support extended to Tatay Digong. Okay, the next topic that we're going to touch, or I'm going to touch now, is about Tatay Digong overwhelmingly won as the next mayor of Davao City. But unfortunately, until now, he didn't took his oath as the duly elected mayor of Davao City. So what's next? So I have this footage when the Comelec chairman George Garcia was interviewed by a very well-known TV host, Karen Davila, if I'm not mistaken, and he was asked to comment on the situation of Tatay Digong when it comes to the duties and responsibilities of Tatay Digong as the duly elected mayor of Davao City. Let's listen to this footage. Okay, at 3, what's the queue? Is at 3:58. 3:58. You hold on. Okay, let's listen to this interview.
Happens first to Davao City. Davao City,
So you have former President Rodrigo Duterte who won by a landslide, but most likely won't be able to take his oath. What happens when a candidate has won? Kasi he is unable to take his oath. What happens then?
Yes, ma'am. First, you don't need to be present to be able to be proclaimed. Meaning, kahit absent ka, in absentia, we can proclaim the candidate. Hindi naman required sa law or any jurisprudence na sasabi, even during the campaign that you should be present, even during the election, even if you are not able to vote even for yourself, then you can be proclaimed, you can be a candidate, and you can win the election. Now, after the proclamation, of course, it will now go to another office, another department, which is the DILG. According to the DILG, once you are proclaimed, they will need, number one, certificate of proclamation to be recognized. Number two, an oath of office. And number three, there should be a submission of certificate coming from COMELEC on the submission of statement of contributions and expenditure. Now, if a person, a candidate who won, will fail to submit a panunumpa under or an oath of office, then according to them, they will not accept that person. That's the reason why perhaps until now, the one that you mentioned, the personality that you mentioned, cannot assume office even in absentia, and that's why the vice mayor under the local government code is in acting capacity in view of the temporary vacancy. Take note, Ma'am Karen, I used the word temporary vacancy. It's not yet permanent vacancy.
Okay, so, all right, let's talk about this very quickly. So, specifically, former President Rodrigo Duterte's case, most likely, okay, they want an interim release, but he most likely will not be able to come back to the Philippines during the 3 years, right? So, if Baste is acting mayor, what are the limitations of an acting mayor? Can an acting mayor, does the acting mayor have the powers of the mayor? Because will
Yes,
the
ma'am.
constituents of Davao suffer?
Ma'am Karen, according to the local government code, the acting mayor performs all acts and powers of as if he is the duly elected mayor. He can solemnize marriage, he can enter into contracts, he can sign the ordinances of the city. Practically, he is the mayor, so to speak, even in an acting capacity. However, and he will, but doon sa mga honoraria, he will be getting the honoraria of the vice mayor, but and other allowances perhaps also of the vice mayor. Pag nag-oath siya, ma'am, he will take the oath not of the mayor but only of the vice mayor, but in an acting capacity as mayor.
Okay, now, is the law clear on how long an individual can stay as acting mayor? Or at some point, is there a timetable wherein the acting mayor has to be sworn in as the mayor?
The law does not provide, although the DILG contends that there is this law which says that you should be able to take your oath at least for 1 month. Otherwise, it will create a permanent vacancy. I for one, Ma'am Karen, I am not yet fully aware of the provision of that law. Pasensya na, but I will have to research on that. But they are saying that you must be able to take your oath for at least within a period of 1 month from the supposed attachment to office of June 30. And otherwise, that is a forfeiture of the office. And therefore, for lawyers out there, that is something for us to research. And maybe the DILG will be able to clarify us on that matter.
All right, that's very clear. No? That's very clear. COMELEC Chairman George Garcia was saying that Baste, who is the vice mayor of Davao City, overwhelmingly also won in the midterm election last May 12th. Now, he will be acting mayor of Davao City. He can perform fully all the duties of a elected mayor, except that honorary, like salaries, he will be getting a salary of a vice mayor and not of that of a mayor. But other responsibilities and duties of a mayor, then he can do that. No? For how long? And according to the explanation of Chairman Garcia, is that there should be 1 month period for an elected candidate official to take his oath. Take his oath. Then, after 1 month, we don't know what will happen. Wala pa po. Wala pa explanation si Garcia. But anyway, we don't have to worry much because automatically, now, Baste Duterte, the youngest son of Tatay Digong, will now take over as the acting mayor of Davao City. Of Davao City. So, yun po. That's the latest when it comes to the issue of the mayor of Davao City. Will the people of Davao City will suffer, will face any difficulties, consequences because the elected mayor of the city could not perform his duties and responsibilities. Nandyan po si Vice Mayor Baste Duterte, who will now, in fact, even today, because he started the duty yesterday, now he's already acting, if I'm not mistaken, he's already acting mayor of Davao City. So, I will share with you another footage po about this news report dyan sa Manila regarding the issue. You hold on. News report 132. 132. Let's listen to this. But before, okay, you hold on, Okay, 132. Let's listen to this report.
Vice Mayor Baste Duterte will be acting mayor in the absence of his father, former President and elected Mayor Rodrigo Duterte. In a statement on Tuesday, July 1, the Department of Interior and Local Government says it has formally directed Baste Duterte to assume the role of acting mayor following the temporary legal incapacity of former President Duterte, who was proclaimed mayor-elect in absentia. The DILG cites Section 46A of the Local Government Code. The provision states that if the mayor is temporarily incapacitated to perform his duties for physical or legal reasons, the vice mayor shall automatically exercise powers and perform the duties and functions of the local chief executive concerned. Furthermore, the agency says that DILG Secretary John Vic Remulla wrote to Vice Mayor Duterte on Monday, saying that he is hereby enjoined to perform the duties and functions of Mayor of Davao City to prevent paralysis of government operations. The DILG notes that consequently, the former president's grandson Rodrigo II will be acting vice mayor as stipulated by Administrative Order No. 15, Series of 2018. The agency explains that this is because Rodrigo Duterte II ranked first in the Sangguniang Panlunsod election in the Davao City 1st District. The DILG underscores that the action is both legal and necessary to ensure continuity of leadership in Davao City amid ongoing legal proceedings involving the former president before the International Criminal Court. Former President Duterte was arrested and turned over to the ICC in The Hague, Netherlands last March to face allegations of crimes against humanity in connection with his war on drugs. Despite being locked away in The Hague, Duterte won his campaign to be elected Davao City mayor again in a landslide last May.
Alright, yun po. Officially announced that Baste Duterte, the vice mayor who won overwhelmingly also, is now the acting mayor of Davao City. Wala tayong problema dyan. So, okay, my final footage that I'm going to share with you is about, since we are talking about election, we just finished our midterm election, but there is another election coming up in the Philippines, and that will be this year. That will be in October. And this time around, it will be the election of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. There are some changes on the schedule. The Bangsamoro or BARM, Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim parliamentary election. No? Some changes, and let's hear from no other than the Comelec chairman talking about the issue when he was interviewed by Karen Davila recently. Let's listen to this. I think this will be my final footage po. My final footage. You hold on. All right, 131. Let's listen to this.
We lost you a bit. So we're electing 80 officials in bar. Go on.
Yes, Ma'am Karen, we are going to elect 80 members of the parliament. We are going the best features of the Bangsamoro parliamentary election. We are going to print the pictures in the ballots of the candidates. Number two, we are going to print the logo of the political parties. And finally, there is this option on the part of the voters to choose none of the above. If they do not wish to vote for any candidate or any political party, they can choose none of the above as one of the best features now of the ballots as included in the election code of the Bangsamoro.
Pero this is quite interesting. Bakit may picture? Bakit may picture yung kandidato sa BARM at pati yung party? Why did that happen?
We asked them during the time that we were drafting the implementing rules and regulation, and according to the members of the parliament, because they want the voters to vote not only because of the familiarity of the name, but because at least they are more familiar with the feature, with the face of the candidate, and therefore choice nila ma'am mas maliwanag daw po. And we highly respect that, and therefore we included that now in the ballots for the Bangsamoro.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. You were with me for an hour.
Alright, yun po, October. That will be in October, the parliamentary election of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region and Muslim Mindanao. They are going to elect 80 of them. 86 po. And of course, according to the COMELEC chairman, in the ballots, they will be printing the picture of the candidates at the same time the respective parties, political parties po. So that's also a nice idea being implemented by the authorities of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. Let's hope that during the election in October, wala na po yan mga problema when it comes to crimes committed during the election po. During the election. Anyway, let's hope and pray po. So, siguro hanggang dito na lang ang programa ko po dito sa NikTok Radio Talk with Nico on this very beautiful day, Tuesday, July 1st, the start of a new month. The start of a new month. I would like to extend my happiest greetings to my supporting wife, si Mary Lou Pentojo. We are celebrating our wedding anniversary today. Today is more than 3 decades already po we are together, and still counting po. The years we are still counting po. Happy anniversary to my wife, and of course I love you so much, and our children would like to greet also anniversary to both of us. For those celebrating also their wedding anniversaries, birthdays, or any other occasions, I would like to extend my greetings to all of you, and hope and wish that your celebration today will be a fruitful one, memorable one, and problem-free. Problem-free. So siguro po, with this, hanggang dito na lang si Nico Fabian. And once again, I would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. Have a fruitful week, working week po. That is my, I'm hoping and wishing that everybody will enjoy this week, this working week po. On the second day and first day of the month, July 1st. So again, Malaysia, Sabah, the Philippines, God bless us all, and see you in my next episode. Bye!